Welcome to Screen It or Stream It,
where we take a look at a movie that's in theaters now
versus one you can stream at home,
and we try to decide which one should you go with.
This week, we saw a superhero movie.
Woo!
And you know what that means?
Woo! Yes! Action and violence!
And we like violence.
Ah!
We saw Spider-Man Homecoming. In this version, while not necessarily a origin story, it is more of a re-origin story. I don't want to use the word origin.
I see what you mean.
It's like a reintroduction to the character.
Yes, an introduction, but not an origin. They picked it up as in this is kind of his life, and he's still trying to figure it out, but they didn't go into exactly how he became that way. They mentioned it in passing, but it's been done twice recently. So
it just kind of jumps in with both feet, and the story follows Peter Parker, who in this case is 14 years old, and he's kind of dealing with all the problems that you have in high school. He's dealing with bullies, and he's dealing with friends, and at the same time he's dealing with superpowers, and I am a superhero, but nobody respects me, and he in the process of this runs afoul of a new villain called the Vulture, played by Michael Keaton, and we get that kind of same basic villain's doing a bad thing, we've got to go stop the villain from doing a bad thing. But in this case, done very well, and we'll talk about that in a second. So what are we going to rate it?
Well, our crack team put our heads together, and we pretty much decided solidly 4 stars across the board. Good movie. We're going to tell everybody to go watch it.
And this one was a tough one for me. I was teetering on 5, but I kind of want to save those 5s for this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
I agree completely, and I thought that as well. It briefly crossed my mind, but and I don't know how to describe what makes a 5-star versus a 4-star, because the 4 stars I really like. I really like a movie to give it 4 stars. So that extra thing, like Jurassic Park, I give it 5 stars. That movie's just amazing. Lord of the Rings, amazing. The Hobbit, that's closer to the 4, 3-ish, 4. It's good, but there's just something missing.
But Spider-Man definitely good, solid 4, maybe peaking up to that 5.
Earned every star.
It did, and so this is the first full-on Marvel version of Spider-Man.
And they did it right.
As Marvel tends to do. And again, like most Marvel movies, it's not a superhero movie, it's a genre piece. In this case, it's kind of a teenager comedy, very John Hughes feeling, 16 Candles and all that. We've got the awkwardness of the youth and him growing up. It just happens to be superheroes at the same time, which is what Marvel does, and they do really well. They tell us a genre piece with superheroes, and that's what it does. It does it really well. Unlike the other Marvel movies, we get a really good villain.
He was so interesting.
He was. Michael Keaton as the Vulture, so good. And one thing I absolutely loved, I thought about this about halfway through, and we've said this before, it tones it down. Like, Peter Parker, Spider-Man is not saving the universe. He's not saving the world. Although I guess he might if it escalated.
Right, things
put an end to it.
Certainly could have been escalating that direction, but
it does the thing that the Marvel TV series do with Daredevil and Luke Cage, and he's kind of in Queens. He's in his little area, and he's trying to protect and defend and help people in his little area. That just brings it down to a more human level, a more personal level.
It's personal, it gives it heart, and he's being a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Which is a joke they made multiple times throughout the movie.
Twice at least, I counted.
But it's done so well. There's a good bit of comedy in it, and the comedy is done really well. Captain America makes a bunch of little brief, don't want to spoil anything, but his is hilarious.
Oh my gosh, they were great.
The comedy relief, the sidekick, the friend, he has, what you see,
the guy in the chair.
The guy in the chair. He has his high school friend, kind of his one and only friend, and they're And it could have went either way, because he could have
easily been very annoying. He could have so easily slipped into that Jar Jar Binks, you wish he wasn't there, but he didn't. I felt he was completely appropriate. Even when he was being annoying, it came off as very funny. Annoying to Peter, but funny to us.
Well, when he and Peter would nerd out together.
Oh my gosh, that was great.
The Death Star stuff, they were putting together a Lego Death Star, and they just geek out over even having it, but just really, really, and your wife called it a cute movie, and I guess it kind of is. I would scale, this one's not, this is definitely not a Logan Deadpool, there's some violence in it.
It's just not near as heavy.
It's a much lighter feeling movie.
Yeah.
And it works so well. It works so well on many different levels. It works very well as a comedy. It works very well as a coming-of-age story. It works very well to introduce a new Spider-Man character. It works very well with the integration of some of the other Marvel Universe characters. They kind of make appearances pop up here and there. Made
it fit right in with, if you've seen all the backstory from Civil War specifically, that was kind of mentioned that a few times.
It's I don't think that's a spoiler, but it basically starts off with footage from Civil War, but from a different perspective. It's from Spider-Man's perspective, and it was really interesting to see. And I think the best thing about this has got to be the lightheartedness. Spider-Man is such a fun character, and it should be fun. And there are dark characters, and I like dark characters. Batman can be a dark and brooding character. Deadpool is dark. Logan is dark. Spider-Man shouldn't be dark. He shouldn't be sad and depressed and brooding. Tom Holland does an amazing job as Spider-Man, and he is happy through this entire thing. Even when stuff goes, he's positive, he's upbeat. And when stuff goes wrong,
he takes his licks, he bounces back.
But he never loses that. He never gets
presses on. And that is great. I love that he presses on, even despite things getting really bad.
And he has some, he has an adversary. He has things he must overcome. And they weren't necessarily easy. I thought they did a good job of balancing, because, it's a superhero movie. The superheroes are going to be triumphant, at least in some way. And you're like, well, how do we, sometimes it's just like, oh, well, they're going to win this. But he had some big obstacles to overcome. And he had multiple obstacles. He had superhero obstacles. He had, being a teenager obstacles. He had girl obstacles. He had friend obstacles. And just done so well. And the biggest praise I can give it, as I get older, I remember being a kid and would watch pretty much anything you turned on the television or at the movie theater, and just being engulfed in it. You get that tunnel vision.
Yeah, and nothing exists. It's just the movie.
And when the movie's over, you're like, oh, where did the time go?
Yeah, exactly.
And as I get older, that seems to be narrower and narrower, like my scope.
Right, it's harder to achieve that level of commitment to
I find myself watching movies, watching TV, and wondering what time the thing is and what has to be done, and did I pay that bill, and 5 minutes later I haven't heard anything that's being said.
Yeah.
I totally tunnel visioned on Spider-Man. It started, I went, oh, that's neat. It started with the Civil War stuff. I went, oh, that's neat. And then the credits popped up. And when the credits popped up, I realized I had been in New York for, an hour and a half, 2 hours, however. I couldn't even tell you how long the movie was.
And I was right there with you, sucked in, totally invested just in everything that was going on, and it was great. Just a really well done piece. It was very just entertaining, paced well. It was great.
It made me excited for Spider-Man. This is the Spider-Man we deserve.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to more. I hope Marvel.
They promised.
I'm looking forward to more. Makes me a little bit sad that this is not the Spider-Man we had gotten until now. We had to go through a long, row of Spider-Man.
Don't get me wrong. I liked Tobey Maguire and the first two. I don't like that third one. And I even liked Andrew Garfield.
I liked this movie fine.
They just did the one, didn't he?
I can't. I think he did 2.
Oh, I only saw the first one. Whoops. I guess I didn't like it that much.
Wasn't the second one with the one with Jamie Foxx and it had like 37 different villains and it just did
That's
not work.
the other one I missed.
Yeah, it didn't
I need
work
to see
out.
that.
No, you don't.
Ooh.
But no, like I thought they did an alright job, but that wasn't the right movie. This is the right movie. This is the right step. This is the way to go. And they even at the end it tries for a second there. You think it's going to be bigger. It's going to head towards. And then he's like, no, I don't need to be bigger. Yeah, it's like, I'm just going to stay. And I'm like, yes, that's the way to go. Smaller, keep it down. He's your neighborhood friendly Spider-Man. Okay.
So, if, let's just say, you're not feeling like going out for whatever reason, can't see why you wouldn't, but hey, it happens. Are there any streaming options we have that might be kind of on the same lines?
Well, it's difficult because this is, again, just done so well. It's hard to... I keep thinking of things that were done well that would be enjoyable, and I would go with Deadpool. Deadpool is fun, but just it's kind of hard because they're totally different feels, totally different movies. But if I just on the off the cuff here, Deadpool.
Well, in fairness, they are both red, and they've got like the eyes thing happening. So I can see that.
But Deadpool to me, and again, while more of an action movie,
comedy.
But the comedy was there, and I was really shocked at the comedy in Spider-Man. But they were both very lighthearted, very funny, and they were the kind of superheroes. We had gotten a bad version of Deadpool. We got not a good version of Spider-Man, and then we kind of got a triumphant return. And I kind of feel the same way about that. Again, Deadpool rated R and
Spider-Man not so much.
Yeah, Spider-Man not so much. Much more friendly. But if I had to give it a recommendation, I would say Deadpool would be a good one to go with.
Well, for some reason, and I'm not sure why, my streaming pick is way just out of left field here, but it kept coming to mind, like as I was trying to think of what this made me think of, and I thought of The Last Starfighter.
Oh, I love that.
And I love that movie too, from the 80s. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely give it a try. A little campier and no superheroes, but somehow it just kept coming to mind and I think it's all involved in the main character. He kind of ends up in the middle of this stuff. He wasn't really looking for big epic things to be in, then he ends up in it and, has to decide, well, should I really be in this? I don't know, I might be in over my head. So it's...
You having said that, I'm completely changing my recommendation. I thought of a better one.
Let's hear it.
The Karate Kid. And not the new one.
Not with, was it Will Smith's son?
What's his name? Jaden Smith. Yeah, no.
The old one.
Ralph Macchio.
Yeah.
And Pat Morita. And again, you got like the young kid being mentored, and we had Tony Stark as his mentor, and it's the kid, and he just wants to prove something, and he's got the bully at school and stuff. So I rescind my Deadpool and substitute the Karate Kid. I think the Karate Kid would be a great fit, and it's a little bit not necessarily funny and lighthearted, but definitely more.
It's got its
family,
moments. It's got its moments for sure, and a lot of teachable moments in fact, all three of these. So probably fewer in The Last Starfighter. It's pretty much just a sci-fi romp, and it's fun.
Oh, it is. I love The Last Starfighter.
Well, I think that's all our time for today. Thanks for watching Screen It or Stream It.
And remember, don't take your kids to the movies on Tuesday nights, because that's when we go.